Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 9 of the Strategy Game podcast. Today, we are talking about why the priority isn't marketing, it's perfecting your offerings and your experience first. We're going to give you a tangible tool to be able to do that today, so listen in. So, in the intro to this episode, I said that the priority wasn't marketing and it's about perfecting your offerings and your experience first. I think a lot of times we don't do this because we think that our offerings and our experience is fine. But in reality, when we go back and we dig into the roots of our experience or our offerings, we'll discover certain things along the way that may not be working properly. And those things right now in the season are probably coming to light more so. There's probably a lot of shifts or pivots that you're making because of the environment right now, because it's so fluid and volatile. And so we want to give you a tool to be able to work through your process, your entire customer experience process from the very beginning to the very end, and hopefully create a loop of a customer that keeps coming back to you. So the tool we're talking about today is called journey mapping. And journey mapping is all about creating delight. I love this image in your mind. So if you just close your eyes, not if you're driving listening to this, but close your eyes and think about a time that you have felt delight over something, delight over a customer experience, something that literally just made your whole day. And it might have been super, super simple. I love to talk about the popsicle hotline. And this is something that we've talked about on the blog. So this hotel out in California, it's like this really vintagey, cool hotel. It's pretty reasonable, and honestly, there's nothing really special about it, and I probably wouldn't ever consider staying there if it weren't for this thing called the Popsicle Hotline. So they have this red phone, this old school red phone by their pool, and you can pick it up at any time, day or night, 24 hours a day, and they will deliver you a popsicle with white gloves on a silver platter. Now, that is pretty amazing. I don't know what they're doing right now because of COVID-19, but prior to this, that was an amazing experience that created delight. It's something so simple, it's so little, it actually costs not very much. A popsicle budget can't be that big to maintain, I would think. And it's made this hotel literally world famous. So when we create moments of delight through our experience, we create raving fans, and those raving fans spread the word. So journey mapping, moving through this process, is the key to our word of mouth strategy. And that, my friends, is free marketing. So if you provide a service of any kind, how do you delight customers throughout every step of your process? Do they view your services as another to-do or a valuable connection and wealth of knowledge that they have access to? If you sell a product, do people need it or do they want it? And how do they feel when they use your product? These are some really good questions that you can start to ask yourself, or just as if it's been a while, ask yourself again. So we use journey mapping as a tool to reflect on every touch point, step, or process of our customer experience and insert those moments of delight throughout. So this naturally just creates people that appreciate what you do and want to be on your team, and they become your supporters and loudest form of genuine advertisement. And especially in this climate right now, we need this more than ever. We need to delight people. And I've been hearing about a lot of local restaurants here, and I'm sure where you are, this is probably happening too. The restaurants that are open for takeout and delivery are putting together special packages. But if there's any kind of customer service issue, there's any kind of wait, anything like that, I've heard restaurants, they're giving free cocktails or free wine or beer while you're waiting in the parking lot. I mean, people are doing just some really radical stuff that they might not have done prior, but it's creating delight and it's adding value, and customers are wanting to come back and support because they feel the core element that they're feeling here is the customer feels appreciated. They feel recognized, they feel seen. And when they feel seen, they want to engage with you. So that's really the root. That's the reason why you're doing this. So let's dive into what an actual journey map looks like. And in today's episode, if you hang on with us, in the show notes, I'm actually going to link to a PDF that will walk you through this customer journey map. You can print it out and work through it at your own time. And so this is really helpful. This is also something that we have in the strategy masterclass that we offer at Storywork. And that is part of our strategy map. And it's a really powerful 6-part framework that helps you walk through your own business strategy and come to complete clarity at the end of that map. So here we go. So the customer journey map is made up of a couple elements. The first thing is your process. So think about your process right now from very beginning to very end. And by very beginning, I mean, what is the point where they first hear about you? Is it through a Facebook ad? Is it through word of mouth? Is it through a radio ad? I mean, how do they hear about you? Like, what is your form of advertisement? And you probably have a couple different channels right now, and you've probably had to get pretty creative, but I would just encourage you to think about which channels are working for you and prioritize those. So how are they hearing about you most frequently? And then what's the process from there? Are they clicking through on the Facebook ad? And then what do they see? What are they greeted by? What delights them there? Or is it too much text that they have to read and muddle through and then they don't click any further? Where do the waters get murky for them? I guess this is what I would ask you. Where do the waters get murky and where do they tend to drop off? Those are the points that we want to eliminate through using the customer journey map. So walk yourself all the way through the process by detail. So pull in your team members for this. So say, okay, they first see you on a Facebook ad. They click through and they find that there is a special or there is a free workshop that they can get access to right now, or there's a free PDF or something that piques their interest and speaks directly to them. So then they click through and they're delighted by the result. They're delighted by what they receive, and they feel so recognized by the language that you have thought through what they might say. And then maybe there's just a way to directly connect with them. There's a personal follow-up email. There's a personal text message or a personal chat that comes up right away. Something that just engages them, is genuine, non-salesy, and just a way to say, hey, I see you. Thanks so much, for reaching out. And do you have any questions? And then they walk through the process, right? They're going to need validation. They're going to want to see who you are, what you're about, how you meet their needs, right? Depending on what you do, is that front and center, how you meet their needs. How are you a necessity to them right now? How are you positioned? And we have a webinar on that actually that Mike Gonzalez and I had put together. If you haven't checked it out, check it out at storywork.co/webinar. And it talks about the customer types that we need to recognize today. And it also talks about what we need to do to position ourselves as essential right now in this market. So back to the journey map. So you're going to continue to walk through the whole process from start to finish. What does the post-transaction look like with you? Is there a little note that you can add? Is there a little something that you can put in there that's personal and that adds delight to keep them coming back? What is going to make them spread the word? And then we're going to move into customer goals. So each step of that process, what are the customer goals? What are they thinking? What are they desiring most from you when they click on that Facebook ad or when they order their dinner? What are they most interested in? Or when they check out and they get their receipt, how are they feeling, right? And the next thing is the touch points and the emotional response. How are they feeling at each point in the process? And what's going on in their minds when they interact with you? So then you're going to move into customer thoughts, right? Maybe a short quote from their mouth, like, oh, this looks interesting, this Facebook ad, like this image, this grabs my attention for this reason. I've been looking for something like this because X, Y, and Z, right? So you're going to put a quote from their mouth in each stage of the process so that you can relate to them and speak back to them in your marketing language. That's the beauty of going through this work. That's why this deep work is foundational to your strategy and your marketing. And then you're going to rate your recommendations, any ideas to improve. You're going to write those down and list them out, because through this process, and I do this for organizations and for entrepreneurs, they discover a lot about maybe even just their website layout, maybe their social media channels, anything that is related to their customer experience. They discover a lot, and you have a space at the bottom to write out recommendations through each area in the process. And then what you get to do is take this back to your team and prioritize and put this together and actually execute on it. So right now, I would just encourage you to move through this map, go grab the printable, and get started on it with your team. Pull them in and just go through this. It might take maybe an hour of your time, and an hour of your time that creates so much impact because you're going to step into the customer's shoes. You're going to feel what they feel. You're going to walk a day in the life of your customer, and then you're going to be able to speak back to them the way that they want to be spoken to because you are going to have empathized with them. So even if you're a nonprofit, if you're a movement, if you're a business, it doesn't matter. This stuff is all central. So it's really all about relating and connecting to people on a deeper level, recognizing their needs and meeting those needs. So thanks so much for listening to this segment, and we are excited to continue this journey with you.